All right, good Tuesday afternoon, everyone. Thanks for stopping by for a check of your forecast. Hope everyone's doing well today. We are taking a look at radar and water vapor imagery first. It is December 16th, year of our Lord 2025, and we're again approaching the bottom half of the 4 o'clock hour here in Amarillo. Just a few high clouds streaming across the area right now. Take a live look outside from Dimmitt. You can see some of those high clouds kind of coming in from the west, but a lot of sunshine out there that's led to a warmer afternoon. Temperatures are in the 60s in some areas and even some lower 70s down towards Childress and Paducah. 65 here in Amarillo, 67 in Dalhart and Borger, 68 in Tucumcari. Winds very calm. It's a very warm day, December day for us, but again, we won't complain too much about it. At least that wind is not howling out of the southwest. Here's our lows for tonight. We are going to dip to or just below freezing by tomorrow morning. So a cold morning, but this warm, afternoon pattern for temperatures is going to continue well into Wednesday. Expecting the winds to probably pick up a little bit out ahead of our next storm system. But temperature wise, we're likely going to be back up into the upper 60s again tomorrow afternoon, and probably a few of us into the lower 70s. Now, our next cold front does come through on Wednesday night, Thursday morning. That is, again, the next weather maker. So we'll go ahead and run you through the computer model for the next 2 days. Here's that warm day tomorrow, and you can start seeing that next front push across the area as we get into Thursday morning. It's probably not going to be all day, but immediately following that cold front, it's very possible that those winds are going to be a little on the strong side. We expect them to be sustained around 20 to 25. Could even see some gusts. It just depends on which high resolution model you look at. The timing for those strong winds, again, still a little bit off too, but I wouldn't be shocked for maybe 3 or 4 hours after the front blows through that we see some 40 to 45 mile per hour wind gusts with the front. It is going to keep us a little cool that day. Highs are going to be near normal. So that's about a 15 to 20 degree drop in temperature. So pretty noticeable from one day to the next, but it's going to be kind of an average day for December with that front blowing through. Again, that is the next weather maker. Let's take a quick look at the long range forecast. Unfortunately, these fronts are going to be few and far between now and Christmas Day. We are expecting that big ridge to build up across the central part of the country. We are going to get some troughing in the Gulf of Alaska, but we do have that blocking ridge of high pressure stuck out there just over, in the mid latitudes over in the Pacific too. So unfortunately, even though there is troughing out west, it's really kind of displaced too far to the west for us to benefit from being downstream of it. So we're actually going to be more underneath the ridge rather than where that trough is going to set up shop. It's going to be kind of a semi-permanent low out there with, again, the West Pacific oscillation, again, continuing to kind of shift west a little bit. We're expecting more of that persistent moisture to being advected into parts of California, the Pacific Northwest, British Columbia. Probably going to see a lot of wet weather out here with that trough. Just again, that ridge is going to keep us dry, unfortunately, here in the high plains. That's a pretty typical setup in La Nina. We get these big warm ups and they kind of persist for a long duration. And then we'll eventually see the pattern break as we start getting a lot more of that progression from west to east from these storm systems. Just doesn't look like the progression part of it is going to happen over the next week or two. We may have to wait until January for us to start seeing maybe a little bit more troughing, moving from west to east rather than just being stuck over the same locations. They've had quite a bit of moisture up in the Pacific Northwest already. There's, again, been some uh, pretty catastrophic flooding in a couple of localized areas, but again, that is some mountainous terrain. So again, when you get all that water, it rushes to the ocean very quickly. So you can get a lot of flash flood concerns along the Pacific Northwest when they get these big wet almost Pineapple Express events, or just again plumes of moisture coming in from the ocean. It's expected to be pretty wet in California over the next 6 to 10 days as well. Again, that trough's going to dig a bit further to the south, but we will not again be close enough in proximity to it to benefit, unfortunately. So here's our 7 day tracker. The warm day tomorrow, Joe Nichols is going to be really excited about Friday and Saturday, somewhere sunny and 75. It is going to be breezy, I think, Friday and Saturday. A lot of our mid-range ensembles are starting to suggest that we could see kind of some breezier winds as we get into the afternoons. In particular, some of the mid-range models suggest that we could see winds gusting around 40 to 45 on Friday and Saturday. As we get closer, time will tell. I would lean towards us probably having some elevated fire concerns those 2 days. So just keep that in mind. We have had some moisture at the end of November, but we've been overall very dry since we moved into October, especially the second half of October through, today. We've been below average for precipitation anomalies, and we are starting to really get into the dormant season for the grasses. So when we get these warmer days in the winter and the wind picks up, that's when wildfires become a concern for us. So just keep that in mind. Any activities that you do have planned outside that could start a fire, you may want to try and hold off on doing some of that stuff if you had them planned for Friday and Saturday, because again, fire is going to get going. If it's windy and it's warm and dry, it's going to spread. So just keep that in mind. That is all we have for you this afternoon. Thank you so much for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you tonight at 5, 6, and